They're out here getting them in, baby. Syracuse OC, Thad Lewis, Nick Caley.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, we talked a few days ago about we went back to the D'Amico Ryans hiring a defensive-minded head coach and the turnover that could and probably will happen at the offensive coordinator position.
That has happened.
It's arrived, and this is exactly what I was scared of, folks. This is what I was afraid of, man. Can we get OC search at this point in time? I mean, this is a joke. This is a joke. I mean, I tried to be patient for a few days and wait around. And look, I've listened to the Chip Kelly stuff, and that may very well be something that could come to fruition. But
I believe the other candidates is what's turned you around on Chip Kelly.
I mean, you fired Bobby Slowick, right? Which again, I'm on record. I'm fine with you firing Bobby Slowick. Plenty reason to justify that. But you fired Bobby Slowick. You fired an offensive coordinator that you won 10 games with. Your quarterback put up a historically great rookie year. And a disappointing but still numbers-wise really good second year and won 10 games. You fired Bobby Slowick to go out and interview Thad Lewis, Nick Caley, and Jeff Nixon?
Are you shitting me?
No disrespect to you all's family.
I mean, no, look, ain't no disrespect. It's just the reality of it is when
that's not what you thought you was going to be seeing?
No, it's not what I thought I was going to be seeing. I mean, we've talked about this, and we talked about you were blue in the face. I mean, the Texans right now have the advantage that every team in the NFL is looking for, with the exception of about 5 or 6 of them, right? You found your quarterback. You found your franchise quarterback. He is on a rookie deal. You have a free $40 or $50 million that you can play with right now over the next 2 years. And we're interviewing guys that would be the next Bobby Slowick?
Oh, no.
A roll of the dice?
You mean hopefully the next Slowick.
A guy that came up in the same system in this Shanahan, Kubiak, McVay brotherhood, if you will, whatever it is. Like, that's what we're doing. And the other part of that is, like, you fired Bobby Slowick with what appears to have no idea of who or what kind of
I think that's the
coordinator you're looking for.
That's the part that gets you is, and maybe they still do, and they're just, I don't know, they're acting like they have to do the Rooney Rule or something. I don't know, like they got to interview.
Well, they're definitely going to check that box. But Ryan, I mean, look.
You thought they had somebody in mind. You thought we're going to make the move on Bobby Slowick because we got somebody in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I would be willing. Like, Gerard Johnson is the only one in this group that makes sense. Gerard Johnson is the only one in the group that makes sense because you can say D'Amico's been in the building with him. All of the decision makers have been in the building with him, and they know, hey, this dude's got it. This is the next dude right here, and we're willing to take a gamble on it. And if you hire Gerard Johnson, the terminology doesn't change. The continuity in the building, the chemistry in the building doesn't change one bit. And so I could ride with that. I can get down with that. I got to trust D'Amico on that. I know Gerard as a friend. I don't know Gerard as a coach. I got to trust D'Amico on that. But I could see, like I said before, I don't have to agree with everything, but I'd like to see the method to the madness. That makes me feel real comfortable. I tried to be patient for a few days. This right here is just, this is a joke.
Well, so all right. Do you agree with Clint right now? The names we have, most recent name, Nick Caley, tight ends coach, passing game coordinator under Sean McVay with the Rams. Fair to them. Sean McVay has had some really good success with guys underneath him, Kevin O'Connell being one of them, and Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. But he's the latest. Thad Lewis, Jeff Nixon, the OC from Syracuse, Thad Lewis, the quarterback coach under Liam Cohen, Duval. Tyler's pissing himself that he didn't get that quick enough.
I'm going to be on it now.
And then Gerard Johnson, the quarterback's coach, the one that Clint said makes sense. Are you disappointed so far with this list, or are you being patient with it right now? Because that's what I'm going to like. What is it that's ticking you off the most here? Is it that you just haven't seen a name or enough names that make sense, or you just don't like the direction of the names they're going in?
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those can be true. Look, I understand that you've got there's a broader net that you're casting out there, and you're interviewing guys that could be potential down the road. They could be position coaches. I get that. But there is, other than the leak or the thought that Chip Kelly could be potentially the guy. Other than that, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen anything other than the ability to connect a bunch of dots and hope and pray that that's the guy. I mean, other than that, I don't even know who's out there. But that's my point, is like when you hire a defensive-minded head and you find your quarterback, if you can't consistently go replace the offensive coordinator, whether he's bad and you fire him or he's good and he gets hired somewhere else, if you can't consistently replace the coordinator, then your ass is going to be in trouble. And you hope and pray that this happens, whether you fire him or he moves on, in a year where there's a bunch of offensive coordinators on the streets, or there's a bunch of offensive coordinators that are interested in your particular situation in Houston. The reality of it is, I don't care whether there are people out there or not. I just don't like that the Texans are caught in this situation of firing an offensive coordinator in Bobby Slowick that you've invested 2 years in. That was your dude 2 years ago, and now it's let's fire him and figure it out afterwards. That just seems like a risky deal, man.
And the name that I think most people have, I don't even know if the word is excited, but the one that most people have felt like, all right, I'm at least intrigued, Chip Kelly, that we've heard for a minute. It's the one name that hasn't been brought in for an interview.
And guess what? He's not coaching the Super Bowl.
No, he's not.
I mean, it would be very easy to bring him in and interview him, but this is.
I am surprised. I am surprised right now that they've got, and maybe Nick Caley did. I don't think so, because Sean McVay is there. But it doesn't appear that they have brought in anybody at least to be interviewed that has experience calling plays in the NFL level. Now, I'm not going to say that is something that has to be behind it. It'd be interesting if it wasn't, but just surprised as you sit there casting a wide net, and thus far that wide net has not included someone who has experience calling. Hell, only one person here has been an OC. And that's in college.
Just managing people, right? Calling plays, managing a game. I'll be honest with you.
Game planning, yeah.
How about float out there Mike McCarthy, which I understand Mike McCarthy made an announcement that he's gonna bypass the 2025 cycle conveniently when 6 of 7 jobs are filled. On Mike McCarthy's gonna bounce and just wait for next year's. But over the last week or two, how about floating that name out there? I don't like it as a hire. I wouldn't be super excited about it. But at least he's done the job. At least he's won a Super Bowl. At least he's managed a team.
How long you think how long you guys think the Texans knew they were gonna be moving on from Bobby Slowick?
Well, from the sounds of it probably. Look, I'll be honest with you.
You think they knew this was a real thing before the season ended? Like this was a real possibility?
Yes, I do too. I think I always talk about I think it was week 9 with the Detroit game. It's kind of when they shifted gears offensively. Like when that dude, some of the stuff that he was continuing to say, there was no way that Nick and D'Amico were buying into that. There's no way. Like he kept talking about Bobby Slowick kept talking about execution. It's just about execution. Guys got to execute better. Like at some point, you got guys that can't execute what you're asking them to do. You got to shift gears, and it can't take 2 months to do that, right? Like I knew right then and there, D'Amico ain't buying this stuff no more. Like this has got this potentially could be a real problem. Now to your point, there's several times throughout the year where he could have saved his job. You know, if they could have turned that thing around and started scoring points in the second half, if they could have. Not let the protection problems continue to be a bear for them. But, yeah, I think they knew probably early on, especially if the C.J. Stroud thing was
just to say you think they knew that, it does feel – it almost – by the search, and again, they may have their guy, and this just may be the process. But by the search, as someone here on the text line said, it looks like they're not really sure what – like they're caught by surprise.
Right, which that is my fear.
Which is interesting because – Detroit, they could probably see we're probably going to lose Aaron Glenn and Brian Johnson. Mm-hmm. They filled their roles 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
by the kneecap off.
But Hank Fraley, OC, bounce him up.
They filled those roles 2 weeks ago. They knew where they were going. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing here. We'll see. We'll see what more names we see. We see if they will bring forth. I think I think at some point, Clint, we're going to see a name or names that make you feel better and make you feel more comfortable with where they're going.
Here's the deal: they have met the Rooney Rule. They from a interview perspective, they've met that. The Texans can hire an offensive coordinator at any given time right now. Which I'm not saying that thinking that they're going to hire somebody tomorrow, but I'm saying that like, okay, who really is reality? Let's get him in here and interview him.
Let's get it on, baby.
If Gerard Johnson was the answer all along, let's get him hired and let's get this thing moving. Right? I just don't. You're just. I'm the next run of guys. Like I'm waiting for Nick to take his turn with all the New England guys.
Don't you waiting? Charlie White's might be in here.
Yeah, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting on the Nick Caserio guys.
Is that Nick Caley? Nick Caley had to run it in New England.
That's right. He was in New England with him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
A little crossover there.
We'll see.
That may be the guy. A little New England and McVay crossover.
Yeah, somebody on the text line. They don't feel like we're anywhere close to this thing being resolved, and I think they very well may be. I mean, this may be a deal of they're just interviewing guys. You said a little bit yesterday that getting to know guys, maybe for future, maybe to be maybe a part of the staff or something. But what'd you say, man? I wouldn't mind seeing a name that I think that's the thing with you. I don't think you have heard a name that has been in the interview process that, as you would say, blows your skirt up.
No, not one. Did they interview Eric Bieniemy?
No.
What brought that up yesterday?
He's been interviewing with teams.
Got you.
Yeah, and he was said to be a top candidate for the New England job before McDaniels.
Gotcha. I didn't know where that report came from.
As my recruiter wife would say, you're looking for a stronger resume. You're looking for less turnover and stronger positions on that resume, and you just don't got it yet.
Tyler, I am looking when we're talking about this Texans offensive coordinator search. I'm looking for names that could justify firing Bobby Slowick. And that bar is not real high. I'm not saying that like Bobby Slowick was lights out. I'm saying what Bobby Slowick accomplished over 2 years with a rookie quarterback is more impressive than firing that guy and interviewing this list.
That's far.
I mean, it was better than I'm going to fire this guy no matter what and have no clue where I'm going next. That seems like a risky-ass way to do business, man.
I'm not going to put you on the spot here, but I do want to come back to this at some point in the show. Outside of Chip Kelly, what are some names that would get you going? I want you to think about it. Unless you have it right now.
No, I dug last night. I don't know that there's a ton of them out there.
That would get you going.
I don't know that there's a ton of them out there, Ron. But it's not about whether I like the guy or not. It's about the method to the madness, and the reality of it is there's nothing about firing Bobby Slowick and having no plan that turns me on. There's nothing about firing Bobby Slowick and then going and finding the next Bobby Slowick that's never done anything from a play calling and offense managing standpoint that turns me on. Right? There's the whole thing, the process, the candidates. Like there's nothing that gives me confidence that the Texans have a good plan moving forward. And part of it is I don't know if there are many of them out there.
And I thought we were past this with these old Texans.
But I know there's some.
And you may be. This just may be.
No,
the
you're right.
They may have the person there.
I know there's. I mean, I haven't looked at the college ranks yet. I'm sure there's a few more Chip Kellys out there that are great offensive minds that are proven that would love a shot with C.J. Stroud. I would imagine there's several of those guys out there that have more than 1 year at Syracuse.